In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure OBS, which is a free software to record a screen and successfully record your voice and everything that you are doing on the screen properly without any problems. It is very easy to configure. You just have to follow a few steps. Very first thing is you have to download and install this free software from OBS website. Once you have done that and you open the software, you will see the screen that you are seeing on the screen right now. The very first thing you have to do is you have to specify which display you are going to capture. I have already created this display. How did I create it? I click on this plus button over here, and when I created it, I chose this display capture, and in this display capture, since I already have one, it is saying display capture 2. I clicked OK, and then in the setting, what did I do? I can select which display I want to capture. So right now the current display is selected, which is 0. I have 2 screens, but I want to capture the second display, so I select 1 over here. So when I select 1, you can see that it is showing my second screen. That's what I have done on my display. So what will be happening is that when you are recording, you will running the software on one screen, this OBS software on one screen, but on the second screen is what you will be doing, that you will be recording. So this because I don't need it, I'm gonna just delete it. I already have this display capture over here. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll show you settings, how I have set this up. So you go into the settings, this dialog appears. This is very important that you exactly follow the settings, because if you don't, you might not be able to record properly. The very first thing you have to do is, since you're doing the video recording, you go on a video tab, and over here you have to select your base canvas resolution and output scale resolution. So this is what you will be recording. I have selected this 3840 by 2160 because this is the resolution of my second screen, the screen that I'm recording. If your screen is 1280 by 720, then that's what you should select here. So this resolution depends on what you're recording. Because I have a larger screen, I have a screen with more pixel size, that's what I have selected. But if I was recording my first screen and not my first display, the resolution of first display is different than the second display. So I will come here and change it. So this is very important that over here you select your resolution, and make sure that your base canvas resolution and your output scale resolution is the same. Otherwise your aspect ratio of your video may not be good. Over here in the downscale filter, you can just select the default. You don't really have to change anything. This is really good for screen recording, already selected. And frames per second, if you choose a higher frame rate, your video will be smoother. If you choose a lower frame rate, your video will not be that smooth. I have chosen to be 60. Just remember that higher frame rate, higher over here, means that there will be more processing power required. So if your computer is slow, the recording might make it more slower, but if your computer is, have good processing power, then it should be okay. So if for any reason, if your computer is getting way too slower during the recording, make sure that you come here and decrease the frames per second value. You can choose a lower value, it's not a problem. Your resolution will still look good if you're doing a screen recording of web pages or sites or anything that you're doing normally. Second thing I want to show you is that you go into this audio and just leave the defaults. These are the defaults that came with. Better to have the 48 kilohertz. Don't go for a lower frequency. Just leave the stereo the way it is. You don't really have to do anything over here. Leave all these defaults over here in the output section. If you have a hardware encoder installed, you will see it over here. In some computers it is. I'm using a MacBook Pro. It does not have a hardware encoder, so I only see software, which is more than enough, which is good. So if you have a hardware encoder, please use that, because this helps a lot. And leave everything else as default. This 2500 kbps, just leave it as it is. Output mode, just keep it simple. Over here you can choose the path where the video will be recorded once the recording completes. So you can choose any folder. I chose this folder for now. I intentionally chose the generate file names without a space. I like it this way. Over here by default the MKV option is selected. MKV I do not personally like. What I do actually, I record the video in this OBS recorder, and then I edit it into iMovie software that comes with my MacBook Pro. So for that I have chosen to record in MP4 format. And when I select this MP4 format, it should give me this warning. I don't care about this warning, so I don't care. I just keep it as, so remember these settings. Choose the high quality medium file size. If you choose the large file size, the file is just way too big. After playing with lot of different settings, I found out this high quality medium file size is the best option. So my recommendation is just go with it. If you want to play around with different settings, feel free to do so. Encoder, I only have one encoder, so I will just say leave it. I have another option, but it increases file size, and file size is important for me because I upload these videos into YouTube. So lower file size means I can upload to YouTube faster, so I just keep it as it is. I'm not doing any streaming, so I don't really care. I don't touch it. In the journal, I just keep everything as it is. I have not changed anything. In the hotkeys, this is one of the very critical options. What I do during my recording is that I pause recording and I unpause recording. So let's say if I am recording a screen and I'm installing a software, obviously I don't want to wait for the software to install for 15 minutes. So what I do, I just click this tilde on my keyboard, and my recording pauses. If I want to unpause the recording, I just press the shift and press the tilde. You can choose any hotkey over here, but I just find it very, very, very easy to unpause and unpause recording. So you can choose shortcuts for other as well. So feel free to do so. In advance, just leave everything as it is, nothing to change here. One thing I want to show you, which is very, very critical, is that over here you might see a red area, like a red line, and then you might not see in this area the full screen. The way you can fix it, and you might have to fix it every time you open OBS, is that you right click over here and you choose the option resize output source size. Remember this option, I'm repeating it. You right click over here and you come here and you choose resize output source size. When you choose this, it is gonna give you this warning. Just say yes, and then now it will record the full screen that you have selected in settings. Because if you don't do this option, what it end up happening is that it might record portion of the screen, which is very annoying. I don't know why it happens with the OBS, but this setting, always make sure that you check. You can enable or disable preview. If I right now do something, because the preview is enabled, it is going to show me whatever I do on that second screen. Let me just open text edit on the second screen to show you that if I take it here, see, it is showing me over here. But if I did not choose that option, again, if I did not choose that option, this enable preview option, my preview will be disabled, and during the recording less CPU will be used. If you enable preview, you will require more CPU power. But just make sure, I'm repeating it again, that this resize output source size, you always make sure that you come here and check it. If you don't do it, then it's not going to record your full screen, and a lot of people struggle with that. So if you have any questions, comment on my YouTube video, and I will answer your question as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.